Hello and welcome to our lesson today. It is a reading lesson, and this lesson is going to address one of the Cambridge IGCSE English as a second language exercise that is called multiple matching. Multiple matching. So join me as we go through this lesson. Now, for the purpose of this lesson, we are going to learn about multiple matching. We are going to understand what is multiple matching. We are going to take quick tips on multiple matching. We shall take a sample of multiple matching exercise. So this is what is going to be our workout for today. Now, what is multiple matching? It is a reading passage meant to test student comprehension skills. So here we come to know that multiple matching is purely a comprehension-based exam or a comprehension-based exercise. That is, you read and you understand, you retrieve ideas and you translate them into answers. The reading passage is opinion-based, written by experts in given fields. So it may be a matter of medical attention. It may be something that has to do with euthanasia, and therefore various experts give their own opinion. Now your task is just to identify those opinions based on those people that have given their own views. Multiple matching, therefore, for students, they are required to match the ideas to the appropriate person, the expert or proposition that suggests the idea. So that is very important. The exercise actually is testing students to match these ideas to their original source. You match them to their original source, and that is what we are going to learn in this lesson. Now let's take some quick tips on multiple matching. The first one reads: read a passage many times so you don't have to go back and read them again. It's very important. Each section in your multiple matching passage is very key, it's very important. Therefore, you need to read every section thoroughly to grasp the ideas that are discussed. And again, you should underline keywords from each passage. You underline keywords. Those words can be place, a name of a specific person, or just a place or an action that is performed by the person discussed in that particular section. So you underline those key words that will actually lead you to answering the question. You also locate the writer's main point in the passage. Now each section has a very important point that is being discussed. So your task as a student is to locate those main points and later use those main points to answer your questions. You also answer the easiest question first to allow you for more time to work for the other ones. So go for the easier ones since the questions are very tricky. So you go for the easier ones to save time, and later you read in detail, you skim, scan, and you try to retrieve the answer for the particular passage you're going to read. Now let's try an exam-focused example. We have the three magicians as the passage that we are going to read, and the prompt reads: read about three magicians, then answer the questions. For each question, choose which magician is the correct answer by indicating the letter assigned to the name of the magician. So take note, the magician will be allotted a letter. The name is there, but a letter, maybe A, B, will be allotted. So when you're answering the question, you are going to only write the letter, not the name of the magician. So we are going to read the sections that will form the passage for this multiple matching exercise. Mind you, we have to read it carefully, then we'll attempt the questions. Let's go to the next point so that we see how we go about it. Now, let's look at the first magician, Harry Houdini. Then let's read about him. Let's read about what is written about him as a magician. So he began his magic career in 1891. At the outset, he had little success. He performed in sideshows and even doubled as the wild man at the circus. Houdini focused initially on the traditional card tricks. At one point, he billed himself as the king of cards, but he soon began experimenting with escape acts. In 1893, while performing with his brother Dash at Coney Island as the brothers Houdini, Harry met a fellow performer, Wilhelmina Beatrice Bess Runner. She and Houdini married in 1894, with Bess replacing Dash in the act, which became known as the Houdinis. For the rest of the Houdini's performing career, Bess would work as his stage assistant. Houdini's big break came in 1899 when he met manager Martin Beck in rural Woodstock, Illinois. Impressed by Houdini's handcuffs act, Beck advised him to concentrate on escape act and booked him on the Orpheum Vaudeville circuit. Within months, he was performing at the top vaudeville houses in the country. In 1900, Beck arranged for Houdini to tour Europe. After some days of unsuccessful interviews in London, Houdini managed to interest Judas Slater, then manager of the Alhambra Theatre. He gave a demonstration of escape from handcuffs at Scotland Yard and succeeded in baffling the police so effectively that he was booked at the Alhambra for 6 months. So this is about Harry Houdini. So we are going to use his own background to answer some questions that are very, very important if we are going to be successful in the multiple matching exercise. B. We have Darren Brown, another magician. Let us read his profile. Darren Brown is a British illusionist, mentalist, trickster, hypnotist, painter, writer, and skeptic. He is known for his appearances in television specials, stage productions, and British television series, such as Trick of the Mind and Trick or Treat. Though his performance of mind reading and other feats of mentalism may appear to be the result of psychic or paranormal practices, he claims no such abilities and frequently denounces those who do. Brown states at the beginning of his Trick of the Mind programs that he achieves his results using a combination of suggestion, psychology, misdirection, and showmanship. Brown was born to Bob and Chris Brown in Pulleigh, Croydon, London, England. He has a brother who is 9 years his junior. Brown was privately educated at Whitgift School in South Croydon, where his father coached swimming, and studied law and German at the University of Bristol. While there, he attended a hypnotist show by Martin Taylor, which inspired him to turn to illusion and hypnosis as a career. Whilst an undergraduate, he started working as a conjurer, performing the traditional skill of close-up magic in bars and restaurants. In 1992, he started performing stage shows at the University of Bristol under the stage name Darren V. Brown. Brown was an evangelical Christian in his teens and became an atheist in his 20s. Brown said he sought to strengthen his belief and provide answers to common criticism of religion by reading the Bible and other Christian religious texts, but upon doing so, found none of the answers he sought and came to the conclusion that his belief had no basis. So this is about Darren Brown. Now, let's read about Joseph Duniger, the profile of Joseph Duniger. Duniger was born in New York City He headlined throughout the Kit Orpheum circuit and was much in demand for private entertainment. At the age of 17, he was invited to perform at the home of Theodore Roosevelt in Oyster Bay and at the home of the inventor Thomas A. Edison, both of whom were avid admirers of his mysticism. Duniger was a debunker of fraudulent mediums. He claimed to replicate through trickery all spiritualist phenomena. He wrote the book Inside the Medium's Cabinet, which exposed the tricks of mediumship. He also exposed how the Indian rope trick could be performed by camera trickery. Duniger had a standing offer of 10,000 US dollars to anyone who could prove that he used paid assistants for his tricks. He often said he could raise that offer to 100,000 US dollars. Through Scientific American Magazine and the Universal Council for Psychic Research, Duniger made this offer to any medium who could produce by psychic or supernatural means any physical phenomena that he could not reproduce by natural means. Duniger appeared on radio starting in 1943 and on television frequently in the 1950s and 60s. So that's the profile about the magician Joseph Duniger. We have gone through the profiles of the magicians, and now let's have an exam-focused questions, our exam-focused questions. How they ask those questions for your exams if you're going to write to the IGCSE exams. How normally they ask these questions and what is required. That's what we are going to learn now. Now let's look at the first questions. So which magician made it clear he doesn't use real magic? So all you need to do is to write the letter, not the name. Which magician went to have a lot of success abroad? Which magician enjoyed showing other performers who were dishonest? Which magician enjoyed media success late in his career? Which magician had ambition to work in magic after seeing another performer? Which magician was initially a failure? Which magician abandoned many of his beliefs as he grew up? Which magicians worked with a family member? And which magician was already performing before becoming an adult? So these are the questions, and let's see how we can answer these questions, how we can take materials from the passage or the sections we have already read, and we answer these questions by only indicating a letter, not even the name of the magician, just a letter. Let's analyze those questions, thereby providing answers for them. The first one says, which magician made it clear he does not use real magic? Now, after going through all the profiles of the magicians, we realize that it is Darren Brown. And the answer will be B. Don't write Darren Brown, otherwise the marks will be deducted. All what is needed is the B, because Darren Brown is the second speaker in the passage and it is tagged B. So you only write in the box provided B. Then how do we know that this is the correct answer? In the passage, it is explicitly stated that though his performance of mind reading and other feats of mentalism may appear to be the result of psychic or paranormal practices, he claims no such abilities and frequently denounces those who do. So we come to know that he is the magician who says he does not use real magic. Now let's provide answer for the second question, and it reads, which magician went to have a lot of success abroad? Now, having gone through the profiles, we know that it's Harry Houdini. And how do we know? Mind you, first the answer A. And how do we know? Houdini's big break came in 1899 when he met manager Martin Beck in rural Woodstock, Illinois. And so we know that he moved and quite a lot of things happened, and so he has a lot of success abroad all through his career. So that is a proof of that Houdini have had a lot of success abroad. Okay, so that is the answer, and the answer is A, not Harry Houdini. When you write Harry Houdini, you are automatically going to lose marks. Let's take a look at this other question. Which magician enjoyed showing other performers were dishonest? And if we go through all the profiles, we know it is Joseph Duniga. And so we are going to write the answer C. Then how do we know that it is Joseph Duniga that says some other performers are dishonest? We have it right here. Duniga was a debunker of fraudulent mediums, and we are also told that he exposed the Indian trick, rope trick, and he also wrote a book that exposed the trick of mediumship. Okay, so we come to know from that perspective that Joseph Duniga believes that most of the magicians, including him, were dishonest. Clear? Let's take more questions. We have, which magician enjoyed media success late in his career? And we come to know that it is Joseph Duniga, based on the profile. So therefore, the answer becomes C. And we have the proof. We are told that through Scientific American Magazine and the Universal Council of Psychic Research, Duniga made offers. Okay, so he used a medium, and also at the end tail of our example here, Duniga appeared on radio starting in 1943 and on television frequently in 1950s and 60s. That tells us that he was actually a media personality, and so the answer is appropriate. Now let's take another question. Which magician had ambitions to work in magic after seeing another performer? We have this answer, Darren Brown, which is B. And so we have B as the answer. The proof says, while there, he attended a hypnosis show by Martin Taylor, which inspired him to turn to illusion and hypnosis as a career. So we come to know that he was inspired by Martin Taylor. Therefore, the answer B is appropriate for this particular point. All right, another question. Which magician was initially a failure? We'll say is Harry Houdini. And how do you know that he is a failure based on what we read about him? So our answer is A. How do we know? We'll say he began his magic career in 1891. At the outset, he had little success. So just those words, at the outset, in the beginning, initial, he had a little success. So the word there, initially, is rephrased by saying at the outset. So that's another way of putting it. So sometimes they rephrase the words. So you need to be careful when you're reading. Now let's see another question. Which magician abandoned many of his beliefs as he grew up? From our reading, we know that it's Darren Brown, and the answer is B. How do we know? We know that Brown was an evangelical Christian, but he became an atheist, and later he read the Bible and later concluded that his belief had no basis. So he stopped praying. So that is about some of these questions. So I hope you're following up the trick and the way we go about answering the questions. Let's see more examples. Now let's look at this question. Which magician worked with a family member? We'll say A, it's Harry Houdini after reading through his profile. So therefore, we write the answer A. But what's the proof? We said in 1893, while performing with his brother Dash. So this is suggestive that he worked with his own brother, a family member, Dash. Okay. Now, let's take another question. Which magician was already performing before becoming an adult? From our profile, we know that it is Joseph Duniga. So our answer is C. The proof from the passage which says at the age of 17. So from that point we know that at the age of 17, Duniga started performing. So he started performing before his adult age, before he becoming an adult. Well, so far so good. I hope you have learned quite a lot of deal on this particular topic, multiple matching. It's a reading skill. So let's just take the summary of this lesson, what we have learned so far. We have learned that multiple matching is a reading comprehension exercise that tests students' ability to skim, to scan, read in detail, and match ideas. Students need to read the question or statement carefully to figure out the main idea. Students should only write the letter assigned to names or ideas rather than the names or ideas. Students should critically follow the logic of the passage and answer the question as short. Thank you for your kind attention, and please follow up on our WhatsApp page for the notes and on the Edmodo for the exercise on multiple matching. Thank you very much for your kind attention.